Hello there, Cancer. This is going to be a predictive tarot reading for you, looking at what is coming through this November and December. It's a little different to the usual style of readings that I do here for your sign. So the reason being is because I'm 40 weeks pregnant and transiting Neptune is back in Pisces. So that's right on my Pisces sun now, and the last time that I was pregnant with Neptune on my sun, my predictions were pretty prophetic. I was having a lot of prophetic dreams. You know, the veil is just very thin for me right now, as it is for everybody at this time of the year, but in particular there are certain extra reasons for that. And I just wanted to use that window of opportunity to figure out what's coming up for you for the next 2 months. So November and December. If you're new here, welcome, and check out your October reading where you'll get a indication of the kind of deeper dive, shadow work, soul evolution type readings that I do for you every month. This is just going to be a bit more rapid fire November, December predictions, okay? So what kind of just flung out of the deck here was the Eight of Cups. We may or may not see that card again in this reading, but I will just point out that the Eight of Cups is a suggestion that you might be looking for something a little deeper at the moment, that you are actually quite eager for some change, and you can feel that brewing in a bigger way. If you're not new here, welcome back, and I hope that you enjoy this reading. Grab your notes app, open up your journal, whatever it may be, and let's see what's coming through Cancer. I have the Seven of Swords, Mother or Queen of Pentacles, and the Son of Swords. So in November, Tower at the bottom of the deck. In November, Cancer, I see you kind of confused about what side to take on a matter. I get the impression that you are a little bit under pressure to, to side somewhere. And this could be a matter that's really close to home. This could be with two friends, two family members, or you could be in the kind of field or niche and when you're working that is about like trying to build bridges between people. So that might be your profession, if you're in HR or something more diplomatic, or if there's some sort of a mediation going on in November. You're kind of right here in the middle. I actually, although this is an earthy energy, Mother of Pentacles, I do see you as being here in the middle in this Mother of Pentacles energy, trying to keep everybody pleased and happy. And I don't know, that might be a little bit of a difficult, nearly next to impossible mission for you, trying to keep everybody happy. If it's your professional world, I mean, that's something slightly different because there'll be maybe less of a personal association there. But if it's in your personal world, it seems to be kind of tricky. But in terms of your own personal finances, your own well-being, your own physical health, and your living situation, like you've got it pretty much like figured out what makes you feel comfortable, secure. Money is in a good place for you. I don't think you need to be concerned about that this November. You've been kind of building on something and kind of conserving. It's essentially like these animals were getting ready for hibernation period, at least in the Northern Hemisphere. So there's that kind of basically you figuring out what you have, what you need, what's going to be lasting for you, what you might need to trade in. Do you need to purchase something brand new or secondhand? You're thinking a lot about value and quality, and I think that you've got a really good eye for making bigger purchases this month if necessary. It seems like they're going to be something that really would endure for you. But I think that your living situation is at a certain place now where you feel very comfortable and safe and very grateful for where you're at. in terms of physical health and well-being in November, it might be just that I think your mental and physical health, of course, they're linked. So the issues for you that are coming up do seem to be more like these sword cards indicate, 7 and Son of Swords. Something that's kind of taxing on the mind. You're kind of, the adrenaline is spiking here. There's quite a prickly and spiky energy here. Like this Son of Swords, sometimes seen as the Knight of Swords, looks like they're like swooping in, ready to just like poke this fox, unsuspecting fox, right in the butt. Like, so there's something about some sort of a kind of a verbal attack, or a sort of like you're basically, I see you standing in the middle of somebody who's trying to swoop in and really disturb somebody's plan of action or somebody's approach. Basically, somebody in your world is not happy with how another person in your world is living their life, conducting themselves, doing their thing. And you're kind of in this very protective space this month, looking after or trying to be some sort of a buffer between. So that's what I initially saw, like you're being some sort of a buffer this month, Cancer. And in order for the attack, so, not literally, to go off the way this sort of pursuer of the Son of Swords wants it to, they're going to have to get past you. And that's the kind of energy I'm picking up on. But as a result of this, and the Tower at the bottom of the deck is certainly could be speaking to where this is kind of becoming more volatile, is that as the situation increases in intensity and the bone of contention becomes larger, and the friction and the stress kind of is starting to mount, that kind of correlates to, at the same time, your mental bandwidth to hold all of this maybe drama, nonsense, it's not even maybe fully your business, maybe it is starting to get a little frazzled. So you're starting to kind of it's like something at the seams, starting to frazzle away. There's an expression that I'm looking for, but these sword cards, it's just like they're kind of like starting to undo something, and it's like creeps in the edges of your psyche, and then all of a sudden, Tower card, you're kind of left bamboozled or really stressed and overwhelmed by this, is the impression I'm getting. And that's so contradictory to what you have been personally building, your sanctuary, your physical vessel, honoring that, being really healthy with your choices, and not just with, what you're eating and how you're moving your body, but everything you're consuming, the kind of ways that you're living your life and the choices you're making. So November may be a time when, you are being let in on the plans and motivations and agendas of others, and somebody lets you know, this sword under the fox's butt could be the sword that's ultimately here. Somebody lets you know what they plan on doing, whether or not you agree, you feel positively, negatively, neutrally about this. I don't know what's popping out of the deck here. In reverse, the 10 of Wands. I think most likely you feel overwhelmed by this, overextended. You're thinking, why are you telling me? Or like, what do you want me to do about it? I've got enough on my plate already. Slow down. I don't need to be so involved here. But somebody lets you know what they plan on doing, and you feel this sense of duty to stand in the way somehow, or to buffer, or to soften the edges. People are pretty edgy around you in November, not necessarily towards you, but people are quite provocative. Maybe they're trying to provoke a reaction out of you. I would say keep your own cards close to your chest this month, because the 7 of Swords is pretty much saying, like, if you have a motive, a motivation, or just something that you want to happen for yourself, and get away with and achieve and, you know, pull off in a sense. You don't have to be too vocal about that, because people are very, very eager to offer unsolicited advice or opinions, or just in a sense tear your idea down. So keep it close to your chest. That's been what's working for you. And the Son of Swords. Okay, so you're highly energized this month, and so are the people around you. People around you are feeling very, very eager to stick their oar in and be kind of abrupt and blunt. I think that they're mirroring something within you, Cancer. I feel like you really want to, on some level, be more assertive, and I think that something could push you to that place this month where you're sick of being the person to it's not like a people pleasing thing, it's just like a mature way. Like, you're used to be the person relating like an adult and figuring things out, and I think it's beginning to stress you out a little bit. Now let's look at December. I have the Queen of Wands, the Four of Swords, and our first major arcana card, the Death card. So I will clear up the Death card. I will only kind of clear up those majors that come out like that. Another Queen or Mother energy. So we have Mother of Pentacles in November, Queen of Wands or Mother of Wands in December. That Queen energy coming through reflects a period of growth for you, abundance, fertility, possibility. The Sun coming through with the Death card. That's very, very beautiful for December. Yeah, just having a lot of Queen energy that you're tapping into at the moment would just suggest that at this time in your life, you're cultivating wealth, you're cultivating confidence, magnetism, you're increasing your sort of aura in a way that people will be attracted and drawn to that. So people feel very comfortable around you these next couple of months. People feel very warmed to you, fascinated by you. With the Death card here and the Queen of Wands, there could even be a bit of fixation, hyperfixation on you, watching what you're doing, obsession, jealousy. That is possible because of the increasing auric field around you. You've got this kind of more of a pull towards you. But as long as, I suppose, you know, you are balancing your, more so in December, your busy social calendar, your festivities, you're getting yourself out there in the world, you're being really sort of seen, you're like be seen and being seen and popular and desirable. Like, as long as you're balancing how you have to do that and how you will be doing that with this Four of Swords, which is just like checking in with yourself and knowing where your limits are and knowing when you need to slow down and hit pause, especially coming off the back of November, because at this point I think that you're able to slow down a little bit more in December anyway. Slow down in, okay, not in all areas of life, there's a lot of growth, but there where you're choosing to enjoy yourself. So you're going to be like amping up whatever makes you feel good, your passions, your hobbies, creativity. If you like to go out, you'll be going out. If you like to stay in, you'll be staying in. Whatever it is that you do for true pleasure and joy, that seems to be where there's going to be a lot of focus for you in December. But where you're going to be pulling back and withdrawing from is the sort of pushing you to edge, you know, your nervous system to certain edges in November. And this drama of the Tower in November may not fully be your own, and you get to decide how entangled you become with that hot mess, if I'm honest. So Then December sees you out and about, and naturally people are going to respond to your brightness. The sun, the Queen of Wands, it's very fiery, it's very alive. The Four of Swords tells me that December is a brilliant time for you to take time out, take time to yourself if you can take time off work. And if work is what fuels your energy levels and makes you feel full of vitality, then that's not what you want to be taking time out from. You want to be taking time out from whatever it is that makes you feel depleted. It's like afraid. What am I thinking about? Like you're frazzled and you're frayed in some way. I think of like this like knit jumper unraveling, and I would have to repair that. So there's some sort of a repairing that needs to happen, and I think that could be a lot to do with for some of you, your mental health, and just how in overdrive you have been, you've had to be really thinking of solutions to problems, and your mind might have been in overdrive, and there could have been anxiety, but it's not really anxiety about your own future or anything like that, Cancer. I just get the impression that there's so much being loaded on you that it's hard for your mind to totally quieten down. So that's going to be important for you in the month of December. Now, the Death card and the Sun card, okay, Death card can speak to endings, but when I see it with the Sun card, it's more so about an evolution of consciousness, really, and a breakthrough or a growth spurt, So with the Queens as well, it's like this is more about growth. So you're evolving and growing through. Evolving is change. Death card is change. You're evolving and growing through joy and creative self-expression, authenticity. If you have children, or if there's children on the way for you this November, December, this is going to be an incredible period of growth. And if you have children, it seems like that's where you're getting and deriving so much of your vitality from and your fulfillment. So if children aren't on the radar, the Sun card is also just very much about whatever your baby is, so to speak. That could be you're the first book that you wrote, or that could be the first this, or just whatever you're like been carving out all this time spent in sacred space with this Queen of Pentacles all November. For some of you, all November, you're working diligently on something that you're hoping to eventually evolve and birth into the world, and it really seems to be a beautiful essence of you. So whatever you feel like a call to pour yourself into, just know that this December there's very powerful, I would say, internal Death card and external forces working and conspiring with you and at play in the background and the foreground, really pushing you towards some sort of a personal rebirth and true self-expression, authentic, free, kind of wild, kind of unnerving to people. It's a good month to just really be who you want to be, let your freak flag fly, and just like totally put yourself out there as if you have absolutely nothing to lose. Okay, thank you so much for watching, Cancer, and great time to subscribe. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit the like button, comment, share, do whatever you've got to do to help support this channel. And I'll see you in 2026, maybe. Maybe I'll check back in again. I want to just get through November, probably nesting, bonding with my baby, and then I'll see how I feel creatively come December. Take care. Bye.